Good evening. I would like to call the Town Council meeting of February the 12th, 2026 to order at 7:12 p.m.
I would like to move Greg Dotson administrate the meeting due to technical difficulties with Zoom.
I second the motion.
So I guess we'll call for the vote then. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I would like to note for the record that the mayor is absent this evening. Also, that Council Vice President Healy is present via Zoom, but due to technical difficulties, cannot run the meeting tonight. So I will step in and run the meeting. Next, we'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. We're going to ask Mr. Bowen to lead us. Thank you. Approval of the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next, we have, next item is minutes from January 14th and February the 5th. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from January the 14th Town Council meeting as submitted?
Move to approve the January 15th meeting minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Request for a motion to approve the minutes from February the 5th Town Council work session as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, moving on to business items. Our next item includes the annual election of the Town Council Vice President. Is there a motion to elect a Town Council Vice President?
I move to nominate Mickey Hummel for the position of Vice President, Town Council, effective immediately.
Is there a second? Is she?
I'm sorry. Yes, Councilwoman Healy seconded that motion.
All right, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor of Councilmember Mickey Hummel becoming the Vice President of the Council, please signify saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Effective immediately, I am turning the meeting over to the new elected Vice President.
Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome.
Unorthodox roll of how we're going tonight. All right, so next up on the agenda is the contract award for the Flowerbox replacement. We went over this last week at the work session. We didn't have any other questions, so we're good to entertain a motion for approval to let me make sure I get this exactly right. So many papers. WES Incorporated in the amount of $178,434.
So move.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries. All right. The next bit we have is the Council Sheriff's Report. We're still catching up.
That's why I didn't turn the mic on and they were hollering at me. So, once again, good evening. Everyone received a copy of the town report. During the month of January, we responded to 67 calls for service. And we had 639 self-initiated activities to include follow-ups for investigations, patrol checks, and traffic stops. Some of the cases we had of note, on the 21st, we had a theft and runaway. That's the one that we've seen quite frequently in the town reports. That juvenile has since gone to Shelton Camp, and it has quieted down in there for the time being. I'm not sure what's gonna happen with that after the fact, but it's been peaceful for the deputies not having to respond out there every day. So we had a few DUIs, several assaults, and we did have a couple frauds. A lot of them having to do with Cash App, so just trying to remind citizens, keep an eye on your Cash App stuff and things like that. All of your online stuff is very vulnerable. Majority of the frauds we see have to do with a lot of these new apps. Not that I make any money from them, but I'm a big fan of Zelle. I've never had an issue personally with Zelle. Watch, I will tomorrow now. But I do see a lot of issues with the Cash Apps and even the Apple Pay, which is also very secure, but they're able to crack those too. So, any questions? The council?
Seeing none, thank you.
Okay, all right, I'll be here till the end if anyone has any questions or needs to speak with me. So, thank you for your time.
Next, we have the town administrator's report.
I'm almost afraid. Good evening, Council. Linda Vasala, Town Administrator. Just a couple of quick items from January. Starting with the Chesapeake Beach Water Reclamation Treatment Plant, I do provide an update each month. We have had a little bit of trouble getting copies of the finalized budget. We did get the top budget. We were seeking roll-up numbers. When I wrote this report, we didn't have that information, and we recently got that information. So we are meeting as a team right now to go back through and make sure we understand what those numbers look like and how it may or may not impact our budget. I think I mentioned during our budget presentation that when we put our numbers together, we were a little concerned we weren't going to have them, so we made adjustments internally accordingly. So I will, by the time we come to work session in March, we should have some pretty solid numbers for you. I think we're going to be okay, but until we've looked at that, I'm not going to give you 100% on that one. Our FY26 budget update, we are doing very well. Joanne will talk to you a little bit about the treasurer's report here in a minute, but we are still tracking very positively. We're paying very, very close to our expenditures and the revenue lines coming in. And the tax differential discussion will be happening on February 24th. Mayor Benton will be down with the county commissioners, so we'll have some information, hopefully from the county with that. And we have not yet gotten the constant yield information, and as soon as I get that, I will send it over to you. That will be part of the final budget approvals. And then for the 27 planning, I mentioned we're coming back for 2 presentations next month. We'll have during the work session, we will have the CIP, so the Capital Improvement Plan presentation. We will have the council budget presentation. And if you have items that you would like for us to include in that presentation, please get them to me and we'll make sure they're in there. And we still have time to take any other adjustments or questions that you have, and we can get that updated. And we will also be doing a discussion and work session about the recommended fee schedule. And with that, that's kind of the 50,000-foot view. We do every month provide you an update on our open IRBs and contracts. Nothing really new to update here with the exception of the award tonight, so we're doing pretty well. So with that, that is the end of my report unless you have any questions.
All right, seeing no questions. Have to check on Zoom for Mary. All right, next up we have marketing and communication.
Hello, everybody. Kevin Schmidt, Communications Director. Exciting start to this meeting. Appreciate everyone's patience as we creatively problem solve. You have my report for the month. A couple standouts that I'd like to mention. Our open call for farmers market vendors is out right now. We look forward to a bunch of returning vendors and perhaps some new exciting ones. They can register online. It's been promoted on our website, in our newsletter, on our social media pages, and open applications are till March 9th. I believe we have 5 election judges now. It may be great to have an additional one just in case. We do need 5 total. So those applications are also still ongoing. And then as far as events, we have, yeah. And then as far as events, we have the Animal Valentines and the Bayside History Museum. Animal Valentines on Saturday and the Bayside History Museum on Sunday here at Town Hall. So, thank you for your time. Any questions?
Yes, you mentioned about the 5 election judges and maybe a 6th. Why would you need a 6th judge?
We haven't, I think, graded the applications yet. We've just received them. So I don't know if we cap it at 5 or maybe we want to have an extra in the tank just in case availability becomes an issue.
All of those applications will come to council.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering why we would need an extra person at it. Normally, it's 5, correct?
We have a total of 5. The application process was open, I believe, through the end of this week.
Okay. So maybe I think what I'm hearing is that we only received 5 applications?
To date.
Correct.
Okay. And when are we closing again?
I believe it's Friday, sir. I'll double check the date on that.
Okay. Maybe we blast it out again. Maybe add a few days to it and see what happens and go from there. Since we still have some time.
We can certainly do that, and we'll do that. Just a reminder, we have to have them appointed by April 1st, so we'll have something
Yep.
for you. If we needed to extend a week, we could bring it to the regular council meeting.
Yeah,
Got
yep,
it.
I get it.
Got it.
Yep, thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right, next is planning and zoning and code enforcement.
Good evening, council. Rick Crump, Planning and Zoning Director. You have the report in front of you. As usual, January's for planning, zoning, code enforcement is our slowest time of the year. Colder it gets, the few things we have happen code enforcement wise with properties. We did have planning commission this month that gave the final approval for the Flynn's Arcade that will be opening shortly. And Board of Appeals, we had several short-term rentals that were also approved. Other than that, it was a relatively slow month, just catching up on filing and closing out internal things. Any questions?
All right, thanks, Rick.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Public Works.
For the record, Donnie Bowen, Department of Public Works. For anybody who's been in the area, I think the words of the month this month are snow, ice, and cold temperatures. So Public Works been hard at it with that. I'd like to take a minute to thank my crew. They've been out working hard during the storm to keep the roads clear. Crews worked around the clock during the storm, and then we had the ice hit after we got the snow pretty much gone. You know, we had 2 or 3 inches of ice on top of that, so it made it pretty difficult. But I think they did a pretty good job. We kept the roads open. The mayor did authorize bringing in some contract help to clear the parking areas, the public sidewalks and the shoulders to try to get as much parking available as we could with the amount of snow we had. Like I said, that was, I think the crew overall did a great job. We brought on like 3 additional, 2 Bobcats and a little mini skid steer, which helped with the sidewalk. So I think that worked out well. K&H did provide some help out front here in front and went a little further, so they did the whole strip along in front of Second to Third Street pretty much for us, so that was kind of nice of them. We also responded to several calls over the weekend, over the last couple of weeks with frozen pipes, as you can imagine. Most of those, we probably did 15 or 20 frozen pipe calls. Most of them were under the residents' crawl spaces, and it just required us to cut the water off so they could do the repair, and then we came back out and cut the water back on for them. We did have one water main break that did require after-hour shutdown in the Burn Oaks Townhouse subdivision. We had a saddle that did break, and that one, we had to wait on Miss Utility for probably 3.5 hours to get there because it was electric in the area, so we had to wait to get it marked. It was a Friday night, and it took, we only had the water off about an hour and a half though, total, with just the water shut-off time. But it'd take a little bit, like I said, we found it about, resident called in, found it about 4 o'clock in the evening. We had to wait till about 8:30 before we could start digging, and by 11 o'clock, we were kind of wrapped up with it, so. You have my report. Does anybody have any questions on anything else?
The Burn Oak saddle, was that one of the new ones? Or was that one of the old ones?
That was an old one.
Okay.
Yeah, like whenever Burn Oaks was built, and I can't remember
Okay.
exactly off the top of my head, but that was the original saddle.
Okay, I remember at some point we were going through replacing those. I didn't know if we got to
Yeah,
that section.
Every year, it seems like when it gets cold, I mean, we haven't had a winter like this for 5 or 6 years, thank God. But for some reason over there, San Francisco and there, we lose them due to cold weather.
Yeah, I remember that one up in San Francisco a few years back.
But it is supposed to be 60 degrees next Wednesday, so come on, looking forward to that. And we'll start back on the normal saddle work next week, maybe.
Any other questions?
No,
Thank you.
I think Mary has some.
she does, I have it.
Oh, there you go.
She says she would like to thank Department of Public Works for all the long hours and good work. I saw the contractors, and they really, it keeps flipping down. Oh, and they really helped, and I know you helped a lot of people as well. Great job to everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Again, from all of us, thank you and your crew, Donnie, for all the hard work.
I'll let them know,
So-
thanks.
All right. Joanne?
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me here. The treasurer's report is through January 31st. The most significant items to me are 75% collection on the property tax revenue. That's pretty good for this year. And then the other thing I'd like to point out is we're into our second quarter of the water and sewer billing, and that has gone flawlessly. We were down an employee, we hired a new employee, and there's been like no lapse in service as far as that water and sewer billing. So that's good. And then the other item I'd like to mention, and Kevin's too gracious to say it, but I know Donnie and his crew do a lot, but also Kevin went out and personally dug out, there was a couple older people that needed help, and he went out and dug them out. So got to give him kudos too. But if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, and I'll be more than helpful. Any questions?
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you, Joanne.
Thank you.
Bill?
Good evening, Council. Phil Ashworth, Director of Waterfront and Parks. Nothing really to add to my report. Just want to note that we have set, all the events for 2026, both along the waterfront and the Nature Center. It's a long list of events, and we will be very busy this year. And a few ones that I'm kind of excited about at the Nature Center, especially Easter, will be a lot of fun. But other than that, we're just kind of resetting for the upcoming season. And it's kind of the time of year where we just kind of press reset and get ready. And yeah, I'd also like to thank my staff for helping clear the boardwalk and bike path and everything along the waterfront. It was good, so I appreciate it. Any questions?
All right, thanks, Phil.
Yep.
All right. With the reports done, we'll move into public comment. Since we're having a few technical difficulties, I'll ask, is there any public comment here first? Okay, seeing none, now I'll go to if there's any public comment for those on Zoom. If you can you please put it in the chat, and then Stacy will get it over to us. And I'll give that a few minutes if people need time to type up.
There's nothing in the chat, I think.
Okay. All right, so with that, we'll move on to mayor and council reports. Mary, if you wanted to start typing up your report, so Stacy can read it, and then we'll start here with in-house. Greg, would you like to start?
Thank you all for joining online. Mary, sorry we couldn't hear your voice tonight. Mickey, congratulations on being the VP. And Donnie, thanks, kudos to you and your crew. And I am so glad that we moved to get the contractor to do the sidewalks. Because I love hearing from my constituents, but not so much when it comes to snow and ice removal. So, especially when they were seeing our neighbors get their stuff cleared out in the next town. So thank you for getting a contractor, whether that was you or Linda or the mayor, whoever did it. Thank you guys. And hopefully next time they can probably clear the path along the boardwalk. There were a lot of people walking out in the street, and not everyone likes to slow down for people, and it makes it a little unsafe. So if we could, in addition to getting the sidewalks cleared on the main street, if we could work on that pathway. I know the boardwalk itself is another story, but if we could at least clear the path, the bike path, that would be a big help. Other than that, thank you to everyone on staff. Everyone continue to be safe out there, and we'll see you the next time.
All right, Michelle?
Good evening, everyone. I'm a little bit tired because I spent every morning this morning with the Safe Nights program, if you haven't heard about that, at All Saints. So serving breakfast, and then I spent most of the week on Capitol Hill as well, talking about the importance of federal statistics. So please bear with me. So last work session, we spent kind of a lot of time talking about agendas and whose agenda, Annapolis, and et cetera. And I really like to emphasize that we should be spending more time talking about our agenda. And that's expressed through our town's budget, and that's also expressed through our shared priorities, which we are still going to discuss. So I'm really excited to have that opportunity. I've said it before, and I want to say it again now. I'm very uncomfortable making big decisions without the public's input. So my job isn't really to guess what people want. It's to hear you and then to kind of go to bat for you. So I can't promise that you'll always get exactly what you want or how you want it or when you want it, but I can promise that I'll represent your interests. But if I don't know what they are, then I'm flying blind. So I've set up a dedicated town council phone number, so that's separate from my personal line. So if you have a concern or a question or a priority, you can call me at 202-688-5529. That's my direct line, so please feel free to use it. Speaking of working together, I'm excited to announce we're establishing a Black Box Theater Citizens Task Force and a finance subcommittee. So thank you so much to the constituent who is online, who called me, wanting to know how he can serve his community. This would be a fantastic way for you to do that. And there are other direct ways to get involved. So this is about how we shape our local culture and how we manage our resources. So if you have questions about that, please reach out to me. I want to say finally, so, the mayor last time mentioned several upcoming bills that are coming through Annapolis. And you need to know that these conversations actually start way before you ever see like a draft bill. There is a draft bill coming up. It's HB 502. That would require members of condominiums and HOAs to complete specific training on their responsibilities. So if you live in an HOA or a condo, this affects your leadership and your community directly. So here are a couple ways to stay ahead of this stuff. There's software that's called Fast Democracy. It's a free tool that you can use to track bills like HB 502 the second that they're introduced. And then once you see a bill, you don't need to just watch it. You can go ahead and participate in a hearing. You can contact your Southern Maryland delegation, or you can call me. So you can set up an appointment here at Town Hall. We'll sit down, look at the facts, and we can make sure that the town's moving in the direction that you want it to go. Thank you.
Thank you. Alan?
Yeah, a couple things. One, I went to an event back January 17th. It was the winter sewing event at the Nature Center. Very cold, blustery, rainy day. It wasn't exactly the perfect day to be doing things like that, but I don't know how many milk cartons were done, but there was a handful of people there enjoying themselves. I know I think I did like 3 or 4 of those things that, so we'll have some plants that are going to be planted around town. It was a great event despite the weather, and I would encourage everyone to take advantage and go see this nature center, because I've been out there with some of the new exhibits and everything, and it really looks good. Second thing I wanted to mention, and Donnie, I didn't want to do this during your presentation, but you guys, waterfront crew, y'all did a bang-up job with the snow and ice and the weather. It was 2 weeks of sub-freezing, and the ice hung around forever and ever, and people fell, including myself, on it. But one observation I would like to make is I look at this town, our town, and the resources that we have. And I don't know, I drive in and out of DC 4 times a day, and I drive on DC streets. I drive on Suitland Parkway. I can honestly tell you, unbiased opinion here, but I can honestly say this town handled the weather, handled that snow, the storm aftermath, better than I've seen DC do it, and the U.S. Park Service on Suitland Parkway, because it just, these roads were clear for the most part very quickly. It took a while to get some of the other snow and stuff out of certain areas, but this town handled it so much better than many other areas that I've seen in my travels up and down the road. Finally, congratulations, Mickey. I know you will serve this town well in this position for this coming year. So, and Mary, I hate to see you go, but we'll enjoy you here on council still, just not as the vice president. So, with that, I think that's all I have.
Thank you, Alan. Stacy, did you want to read Mary's?
She just added one more. She says, congratulations to Mickey. I enjoyed my time as VP. I am also happy to pass the baton. It's like not. She thanked everyone for coming out. Happy Valentine's Day. She said I'll be long-winded next month when I'm there in person. And she thanked Donnie again for doing a fantastic job on the roads.
All right, thank you, Mary. All right, thank everybody for joining us on Zoom for the unorthodox little bit of meeting we had today. Thank everybody here in person. Thanks everybody on staff, not just Donnie's crew, Phil's crew, and Kevin, for shoveling. And I'd like to thank the residents who got out and shoveled and kept up with their shoveling, and then also helped their neighbors and anybody else who they saw that needed help shoveling. I was at work and somebody helped Becky shovel out her car, just from up the street, just came down and helped her out. So we're a nice little community here of people helping each other out, so that really makes me happy. With that, a reminder, this Sunday is the first lecture of this year's museum lecture series for the Bayside History Museum. It'll be here starting at 1. Yes, 1. So I'll be here. We're going to change up the layout this year since we have all the new AV. They're not going to have to move the chairs. We're going to face it this way instead of at the screen. So we'll try that layout out. And with that, I am done, and I would entertain a motion to close. Oh, go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, just wanted to backtrack for a moment. Councilwoman Carter mentioned something about a financial committee. Could you tell me more about that?
No, that's just a subcommittee of the Black Box Citizens Task Force. That's independent of the town council.
Okay, good. All right. With that, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So move the meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for joining us.
Should I hit the gavel?
Only if you want to.